Okay, clearly I am not the target audience for this. Evidently. Yeah. This is not a movie that was made for me. This is made for the generation immediately after mine. I understand why people are nostalgic for things and why imagery and lines and music cues and whatnot stir certain emotions, okay? I get it. But, again, this is just clearly not a movie for someone like me. Pokemon came along when I was in my 20s, I think. And I have a very complicated relationship with Pokemon because for me, Pokemon represents that moment in time when I realized childhood was over. Because children, when you're a kid and you're watching some of these high concept things that, you know, they put out there for kids, kids glom onto it like that. If it's something they like and it clicks in their brains, it's not weird to them. You know, I came about in the age of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and trying to explain that to my parents and to other adults, they looked at me like I had three heads, and you sit there going, man, adults just don't fucking get it. And then I remember we were in New Jersey, and I was watching, I wasn't watching it, my cousin's kid was watching Pokemon, and I'm looking at him going, what the hell is going on? And he attempts to explain it to me, and now I looked at him like he had three heads, and that's when it dawned on me. I am no longer a child. I no longer have the innocence and wisdom of said child. I am now an adult. Childhood is over. And I held out for a long time. I started liking Power Rangers in high school, and I still like Power Rangers. But this just never spoke to me. This is when, again, you realize you're old when you're watching this, and all you can see are the dog fighting subtext going on. You know, that you go around and you trap wild animals in a tiny living space and then release them to fight each other for your gain. You know, they get nothing out of it. You know, they get to evolve, apparently. They win and they get to evolve. Isn't that just like saying if you win, you get to live? Yeah, I'm sure the rooster who wins the cockfight gets to evolve. I mean, isn't this the shit we busted Michael Vick for? But these kids do it, and they're like, yay, heroes! And then they try to explain to you, well, you know, and there are rare Pokemon. Oh, so I should feel better about it, that it's an endangered species? All right, bald eagle, you're going to go fight this albino rhinoceros because, you know, this is a long, long way around of just explaining that clearly this film is not for me. And I feel like I need to put that out there because I am going to just lambaste this thing. But I feel a little bad about that because for the people who did grow up with this, for whom it was an important part of their childhood, you know, I hate it when they send people to review movies that clearly don't enjoy that genre. You know, for instance, you know, again, me, I do not enjoy horror movies. I don't like horror movies. So that's why I don't ever review them on this show, because I don't like them. I don't like gore. I don't like, you know, pain. I don't like, you know, some of the imagery, and a lot of them all, and the ones that aren't gory will not just all look alike to me. You know, my best friend is a horror movie guy, so he sees the differences and the nuances and whatnot. So that's why I don't review horror movies. So I feel very, I'm going to lambaste this movie, but I'm sorry if you are a fan. You know, this was made for you. This was not made for me. So now that I have apologized, let's talk about this fucking acid trip that I just went on. I feel like coming out of the theater, nothing makes sense. The world that I have grown up in, the laws of physics and logic just do not apply now after watching this, because nothing in this makes sense. No motivation is connected to anything remotely connected to logic. The world has no connection to logic. And that doesn't bother me. That part doesn't bother me necessarily so much as just shit just happens to happen. Okay, so the bad guy's big. I'm gonna spoil shit, and I don't care. So the bad guy's big plot is that he wants to merge people with Pokemon for reasons that are vague at best. But the only way he can do this is when the Pokemon are in a state of, going crazy. So he rips off the Joker's plot from the original Tim Burton Batman and pumps balloons filled with purple gas. I know the ones in Batman were green, but still, to spray on people during a parade, and then use the power of Mewtwo, which he has to link minds with via a brain, harness thing. Use that power to merge everybody with the Pokemon. Again, for what fucking reason is unbelievably vague. Why he is doing this just doesn't. And while we're on the subject of it, I got to please, I need to understand this. I don't understand this culture. So they do a little exposition video when our main character, Justice Smith, is traveling to Pokemon City or whatever the fuck it's called. And they talk about, Pokemon and humans have been friends for millions of years. Ancient man trained Pokemon, and they worked together to better humanity, and thus were born Pokebattles. How in the fuck does making these things fight each other benefit humanity? I don't fucking understand how that... It's like an underpants gnome plan. Step 1, underpants. Step 2, Step 3, profit. Step 1, Pokemon fight. Step 2, Step 3, aid humanity. What is that missing piece? Okay, here's another part about this society that makes no sense. So I guess at some point in life, you as a person are just expected to imprint on a Pokemon, and that Pokemon becomes your spirit guide or whatever. But God help you if you choose not to. Where's your Pokemon? Why don't you have a Pokemon? Where's your Pokemon? Where's your Pokemon? Exiled from society. How does this fucking society work? I don't want a fucking little mutate pet, all right? I'm fine. Thank you. Get the fuck away from me. Jesus. And the Pokemon range from either unbearably adorable to the ugliest fucking things you've ever seen in your life. No middle ground. Oh, all right. So I'm lambasting the logic, which has been around in this franchise since the beginning. So I feel like bad-mouthing that isn't really talking about the film. So let's talk about the movie. It's bad. Okay? I'm trying to be objective and remove myself from the this doesn't appeal to me personally thing and look at it as just a film in general. And it is bad. All right? First of all, I don't know this Justice Smith kid. He's new, he's up and coming, probably has a very bright career in front of him. But Justice Smith, you are not Bob Hopkins. Okay? It takes a special kind of talent to act opposite nothing. To act opposite a creature that's going to be digitally put in later and have that relationship carry the entire movie. It's a hard thing to do. I don't know many people who could do it. I know I couldn't do it. But Buddy, you just don't have it. He does not have the charisma. Okay? And him and his Disney princess love interest, the April O'Neil of the batch, who looks like she was cloned in a Disney princess cloning factory. She's too cute. Fucking A, the two of them have absolutely no chemistry. None. It is painful to watch them flirt or play opposite each other or try to, it's just bad. It's just bad chemistry. And I want to know how they lured, certain people into this. All right, Bill Nighy, who plays our villain, spoilers, fuck you, he is British, so he's going to do any movie script that comes in front of him. He's British and he's older, so 10 to 1 he's got grandkids, so 10 to 1 they asked him to do it. And he said, okay, all right, fair enough, fair play to you. Ken Watanabe? What are you doing here? I can only assume that since Ken Watanabe was filming the new Godzilla movie, that he was acting in front of a green screen for a very long amount of time. So I think the makers of this film just snuck into that film and just handed him new pages that here, this is the new pages for the Godzilla movie, filmed him and then digitally put him in this one. That's the only reason I can think of as to why Ken Watanabe is here. Okay, and Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. All right, let's talk about this. Now, fair play, and again, spoiler, Ryan Reynolds playing Pikachu actually has a plot reason that pays off, kinda, in the end. So, I get it from that standpoint. It made sense in the end. But, I'm sorry, having him be the voice of Pikachu was just so distracting. And maybe it wouldn't have been as bad if he was just doing the voice. But no, he had to do his Ryan Reynolds shtick, his Deadpool shtick, only, obviously edited down for, the Pokémon crowd. But they just wanted Pikachu to be sarcastic and snarky and make those oh-so-smug little observations that have become Ryan Reynolds' calling card. The fame of Ryan Reynolds is a great example of be careful what you wish for. For years, I saw this guy and was like, this guy is a really good actor. He's funny. Boy, I wish he'd hit it bigger. I wish he'd become a bigger star and more people could, see how good he really is. Well, I got my fucking wish, and now I want him to go away. Because he's not Ryan Reynolds anymore. He's snarky ass, sarcastic, Ryan Reynolds. And like I said, the fact that he's playing the part pays off story-wise, kind of. But it's just so distracting. You're very much aware that it's Ryan Reynolds as this character. And because of that, it takes you right out. Yeah, so there's also a lot of, editing issues in this. And again, I understand part of it is the issue of filming a scene with nothing there. There's this scene early on where Pikachu is like spinning back and forth and his tail is supposed to be hitting Justice Smith in the face. But the tail never makes contact. And it's very clear that the actor's just going, with the director going, we'll film it in later, we'll put it in later. There's a scene, so that I understand, but there's another scene later on where, excuse me, where it's an all CGI thing, and they're in like an earthquake mountain slide thing for giant Pokemon are coming up out of the ground, and Pikachu looks up and this boulder is coming towards him, and then the next minute Pikachu's on the ground. Oh, it's like, wait, did the boulder hit him? Did, what the fuck happened? What? How? And then this whole thing about Pikachu, he's hurt, he's dying. But we have no idea how bad it's hurt. Did it graze him? Did it hit him head on? Did it crush him? I don't mean you got to get graphic with it, but what the fuck happened? Again, this whole movie, in terms of logic, editing, and everything, it's an underpants gnome plot. There's always something missing in the middle to glue it together. They just do one thing, then another, but nothing in the middle to link the two thoughts. So, yeah, what a fucking drudge. I feel like I needed to have taken all the drugs before seeing this movie. I feel like if I'd taken all the drugs, I probably would have come out and gone, man, that was fucking deep. I don't know what else to say about this utterly confusing, baffling piece of cinema. Pokemon fans are probably going to love it. But to the average person, it's so fucking incomprehensible, filled with weak acting. I guess the special effects are okay. I guess if you're going to say something, I guess the Pokemon, they did a pretty good job taking these things from the animated world into the CGI world and making them look like they could exist physically in the real world. So in that respect, okay, the film did a decent thing. So take that for what you want. Everything else about it, it's so fucking incomprehensible. It's so fucking bad. How do I rate this movie? For years, the only Pokemon outside of the Pikachu that I knew of was the one Squirtle. Because the name stuck in my head. Because it always sounded to me like something you'd get after you ate at a Mexican restaurant. Oh, God, I got a bad case of the Squirtles. And that's what this movie is. It is a bad case of the Squirtles. F on this one for me. And again, if you're a Pokemon fan, you'll probably love it. And that's not a knock on you. It's a thing that you get it. It speaks to you. For someone like me to whom it does not, it's a thing that existed. And I do not understand a universe where grown-ass men surround themselves with adorable little stuffed things with no discernible personality. Okay, point taken. All right, well, that's all for me on this baffling film. I need to go home and reevaluate the way I make life decisions after seeing this. I don't know who I am anymore. Anyway, so thank you for joining me, and as always, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.